Hi, I'm Antek, an engineer, and I'm making this video because YouTube art tutorials are an absolute mess, and someone has to do something about it. When I sometimes need to get some useful knowledge on some topic regarding drawing or just want to explore what other artists say, I click a miniature of a recommended video with 2 million views, start watching, and soon I'm like, because I hear some heresy that makes no sense and just doesn't help at all. It was happening a bit too often, so I started investigating the art creation process on my own, just to make my life little bit easier. Now I've gathered some of the best, most helpful pieces of knowledge that artists don't even care to talk about, and I'm gonna show them to you. I've already planned 5 episodes for 5 art community celebrities whose advice and comments I'm gonna fix and explain things how they really are. Anyone who looked for art tutorials on the internet must have stumbled upon at least one of these guys. I'll be going from the least serious celebrity teacher to the most serious one, and the last of them is a guy from 19th century. What I'm gonna talk about is based not only on my ideas gathered over 9 years of analyzing other people's art and the processes that happen in my mind that enable me to draw in the easiest and the most effective ways possible, but also on the science of human perception and research done by psychologists. But don't worry, I'll try to talk like a normal human being and deliver the most useful comments possible that I really hope will help you solve some of your drawing problems for good. And see how wrong the tutorials made by art community celebrities usually are. The first one on my list is Becker. He inspired me the most to make this video. He's got almost 800,000 subscribers. He can draw, of course. He says he has worked at DreamWorks, Netflix, Warner Bros. And has his own style, but he teaches in a way that will confuse you much more than really teach you anything. He makes a lot of clickbait tutorials that seem interesting at first, but after a while you will see that they will not get you anywhere. Even though he sounds like he's 100% sure of what he tells you. By the way, this is a miniature from a video where he tries to roast another artist called LavenderTowne, whose art tips make much more sense and are much more useful than anything I've seen on Ethan's channel. Even though she uses a simple cute cartoon style like this, that some art teachers might find silly, but I don't. LavenderTowne, if you hear this, big respect, your art tips could be approved by science with no problems. Okay, going back to the topic. Some other artists have already noticed he goes as far as to contradict himself. Watch.
In this video, I'm going to let Ethan Becker teach me art for 24 hours. You guys know Ethan Becker as the PewDiePie of art, right? Anyways, today I'll be referring to Ethan Becker as my art teacher. So let's see what we can learn from this lesson, boys. Alright, so first, before we even start drawing or thinking of any sick concept, we really have to get the idea right. Because today I'm going to be drawing from imagination.
Don't you ever draw from imagination! Never draw from imagination! Ever!
Bro, chill.
Drawing from imagination is bad. And mileage is a lie.
Okay, I'm not going to draw from imagination. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to take out my phone, right? And I have to go out and take some sick photo reference.
Don't you dare take photo reference.
This guy tries to flex all the time. Like here where he pretends he knows better ways of drawing than the master Kim Jong-ji.
You think you're so big, think you're so tough, and then you come into my house. This guy, he thinks he's so big, he thinks he's so tough, he's arrogant, he wears shades. He's so loud, he's talking all the time. Talk. You think you're so big, you think you're so tough, you think you're so big! You think you're so big! Kim Jong-ji! He does not draw from imagination. He's drawing backwards in time to deconstruct G's lies. So you can actually learn for once in your Polly Pocket Barbie baby life. If you are a student, this man can hurt you.
Ah, this man. Yeah, I've heard about him.
Got 5 years experience.
And then, he changes the topic by telling you to do some weird exercises with boxes and straight lines without explaining what a master does. Typical for most art tutorials.
All right, very tiresome. If you look at how he breaks things down, it's with these boxes. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's like 10 boxes here. We don't need that many. It's too complicated for your little infant brain. We're at the spine breakage. Boom, 1, 2, buckle my shoe. This man is not drawing from imagination. All right, it's that simple. You don't need to be so complicated about all these things, G. Come on.
Well, that's the whole point. People want to be able to draw something at least half as complicated as what Kim Jong-ji draws, without using any boxes. But it seems that is too complicated to teach, right? Spoiler, it isn't. And I'll show you, well, maybe not everything, but an important and very helpful piece of knowledge when I dismantle Ethan's theory about ovals and triangles.
Don't you ever draw with an oval. Don't you ever draw anything with an oval. Never. I'm gonna be getting into why students shouldn't use ovals, all right? I'm just gonna be talking about that, and we're gonna be getting to your drawing challenge at the end of the video, all right?
Okay, so first he's talking about a bunch of made-up reasons why using ovals is bad and using triangles is good. Reasons that I'm gonna obliterate with facts and logic. And then he gives some random critique to the people that took part in his drawing challenge. And the way he does it really helps me prove he's totally wrong.
The reason you don't want to use an oval as a student is because it represents indecision. Right here, you see there's an X and there's a check mark. This is mistakes. This is good things, you know, the good path, the path of the light, the path of the dark. Or we're just gonna call it a triangle with the dominant side. Triangles are so important because they are the most simple shape that you can make that is balanced. Why is this so important? Because it has a taper. All right, it's got a small section and it's got a large section.
That's a very interesting triangle theory. You better remember it, guys, and see if it even relates to drawings later on this video.
I'm gonna give you some examples of why it's so important, show you some professionals' work, and we're just gonna kind of break it down, all right? In the indecision ovals, let's say you're trying to break down a professional's work, especially in the learning phase, you are sticking to an indecisive way. Which side is favored, where does the body turn, which way does the hip turn, yada yada yada. If you use an oval, it forces you into using a shape that has no decision. And why is decision so important? Because there are only two paths you can do, that is right or wrong.
Wow, that certainly says a lot about our society. Well, of course people are watching this tutorial because they want to learn what are the right ways of drawing, but this guy keeps filling his screen time with confusing stuff like this because he does not really think why something is right or wrong. And as a bonus we get some motivational stuff that goes like this.
It's tough, it's really tough, but to develop, to get better faster, you gotta make mistakes. They're not bad mistakes, baby. They're alright, you just keep on making them and you keep on moving. Not only is it okay to make mistakes, but it's even more important to make mistakes than it is to do the right thing.
That's a bit too much talking about mistakes, I don't buy it, sorry. My goal is just to do the right thing, okay? And I'm pretty sure it's the goal of every other artist looking for art tutorials. Okay, so we should use triangles for drawing and for analyzing reference, because they will help us control what's going on in our picture, and never use ovals because they are indecisive. We'll see about that. Before I get started, say that to Mooncake, and we'll see how he likes it.
Don't you ever draw with an oval. Don't you ever draw anything with an oval. Never. You are sticking to an indecisive way.
Shoot the laser!
You see, son, Mooncake was quite right to shoot you with the laser because ovals bad, triangles good is the most stupid thing I've heard in a while. There's tons of artists out there using ovals with epic results. The webcomic artist Cassandra, these Twitter artists here, the creators of the series Final Space, the illustrator Al Hirschfeld, the creators of The Simpsons, Regular Show, Rick and Morty and many other cartoons. They all use ovals, and you think that professional art like this is indecisive?
Bruh.
One of the things wrong with Ethan's approach is that telling you to draw either ovals or triangles is forcing a certain style upon you, which nobody has the right to do to any artist. Except for special cases like making art for a game that has a style based on triangles or rectangles and circles. Moreover, even if he had the right to do this, or you actually wanted to conform your style to look triangular, telling you to base your drawing upon 2D shapes is the wrong way of introducing the style. Styles are based upon 3D forms, and I'll show you how it works in my drawing process in a moment. Side note, there are of course certain styles that look like this one, or this one, or this one, or this one, where the vision of the 3D forms is conformed to certain 2D shapes in the final effect. But that's a different category of styles. I will call them symbolic styles, if I may. Well, that's a separate topic for another video or maybe a chapter in a book. Oh, but ovals are indecisive, right, Ethan? Okay, what are you talking about? Here, let me show you something. I'll draw May from Overwatch using just ovals. Check this out. Here you go, is this indecisive? I drew her with ovals all over. I even gave her these cute little oval eyelashes. She's running and aiming her gun at you. This is as decisive as can be. I was 100% sure where I would put every single stroke before I put it down. And where did this decisiveness come from? It is because I have visualized the 3D forms that make up the whole character, and then I put the lines where I saw the contours of the 3D forms, thinking of their meaning in the context of the character all the time. These so-called ovals that I drew were really forms like spheroids or paraboloids blended together a little to form one body, and if I decided to draw with triangles, they would really be polyhedrons with triangular walls. Actually, I can add snowballing here. Just a moment. Okay, as I was saying, the triangles are not decisive by themselves. No shape can be decisive without its meaning. Flat shapes are just markings of 3D forms that a character is composed of. And that is what should become a priority. Ovals or triangles are not something that an artist should think of. So stop talking about this. People will absolutely miss the point if they listen to such heresy. Flat shapes cannot rule when the artist wants to show a 3D character. Now, having a 3D understanding of your drawing, you can draw a cell shading scheme for the coloring artists that will create the next stage of the illustration, just like Ilya Kuvshinov does in his professional work for anime studios. So now you can see that the approach I've shown here not only works, it is also widely used in the industry. I hope that you agree that showing you my total 3D understanding approach is a quite useful art tip for starters, no? Okay, I've disproved the part about ovals, so now we will see how Ethan's triangle art tips work in practice used by himself. This is a fragment where he tries to break down, as he likes to say, another artist's drawing using his triangles. And I'm getting closer and closer to having a mental breakdown from listening to this one when I'm editing this video.
I'm sure you've seen her work around. So look at this. This is an overall shape right here. Grace may not be savvy to the fact that she's using this, but she's still using it. That means that it's just innately a good designing tool. She's doing it here too. And you think, well, it's not technically a favorite-sided triangle because look at this shape. That's not the same shape. Yeah, because you freaking look. It's the same shape. Essentially, it's the same shape. So quit. Shut up.
Essentially, yes. This is so forced, it reminds me of this picture.
Grace may not be savvy to the fact that she's using this.
Ethan may not be savvy to the fact that Grace is doing so great because she controls the shapes with 3D forms. including the continuing form that is out of direct sight. Let me show you an example on the leg, and I will also give you a side view of the situation. I don't know why artists are not doing this in tutorials. This would have helped me a lot a few years ago. These are the forms of the leg. From the front they create this contour. We are looking from this side, so the lines of sight will go like this. And this is the back side, which we have to be aware of to know exactly where the contour will be. Because in order to be fully aware of how the front surface goes up until the contour, we need the information what kind of surface continues it in the back. Engineers call it boundary conditions, and it helps to keep things from falling apart. Next we get to the part where he talks about the works of the people that took part in his reference challenge.
Challenge I recently did. I tell you to take a picture of yourself and then draw from the photo reference that you do. I didn't think a lot of people would be doing it. They hear advice, but they don't really do it. The interesting thing is, like, I'll click on an Instagram profile that's submitted to the challenge, and a big majority of your work, it's not that good. It's not that solid. But as soon as I see that you put up a post about the reference challenge, you're noticing structure and you're replicating the structure, immediately I'm seeing progress. You guys should really keep doing that. If you look on these profiles, you can see where they're like loosey-goosey and not doing, the structure's not there. But as soon as they start doing the reference challenge, boom, they're freaking nailing it.
A big majority of your work is not that good. Really? For some reason he doesn't actually show any of these artists' works from before the challenge for comparison. So here are the drawings from some accounts that I could find that took part in his challenge.
It's not that good. It's not that solid. It's not that good. It's not that solid. It's not that good. It's not that solid.
Unbelievable. Seriously, at this point he is just insulting these artists. Look, why is he saying such things? He's trying to convince you that his innovative challenge is a miracle that changes bad artists into professionals when they do it, to make you believe you will make amazing progress if you only take classes from him. After that, he shows some people's works from his challenge and gives some short critiques. So now I will show you every time he used his triangle approach on people's art. Of course, it worked the way that you might expect.
This is what I'm kind of talking about the ovals. And whenever I first started breaking down photographs, started breaking down professional artists, I used ovals a lot, and I saw that it led to indecision. I think she did really well for this, but I think she could really do a lot better if she used sided favored triangle thing.
She could do better if she used the triangle thing. Why exactly? We may never know. Later on in this video he comes back to this drawing to use his approach on it, and well, you will see what a mess it was in a minute. I will repair it my way, but before that I still have to show you the remaining couple of comments that actually included anything about the triangle versus oval advice.
Alright, there's nothing really to break down with this one because it's mainly a stylistic choice. But this person is doing posing. The pose is dynamic. It feels like this triangle motion going on. The way that person's holding these swords is really cool. It's a really cool pose. Do more stuff like that. That's awesome.
Oh, nice. Triangle motion, see? Whatever that means. Then he tried to break down a reference using these triangle things.
Okay, let's break this one down really fast. Typically, I break down things where I see potential, and this person's got a lot of potential with their art. You just need to learn a little bit more structure. So, just like I was talking about before, anything can be broken down with the sided favored sided thing. This side has a straight, and this side has a curve. That's what we're focusing on. Let's copy this and bring this over here.
But in a message written below, he quickly admitted he made a big mistake in the breakdown. One of the most impressive moments here, he admitted to his mistake.
So if you break down the photograph, you say, how far realistically is it away? Look, it's right next to her nose. So that arm should be pushed back. So that's how we kind of go about breaking down photographs. Let's compare this line. The fist is right next to the nose still, so you did that pretty well. All right, that was pretty good.
I can spot more than one mistake. This arm is attached to the torso too low compared to the other one. This triangle looks like the forearm behind it was saggy and disfigured and had an elbow that is twisted upwards. There are 3 lines on the back of the figure, and the most accurate one is separated from this triangle. But the biggest mistake here is trying to analyze a figure using just flat shapes. because this will really help you fail at art. In the end of the video, he takes the picture where the artist fits some ovals onto the reference, and he tries to force a triangle into that to prove his teachings make sense. And he fails, obviously.
Alright, so I'm going to break this one down really fast. I can already see here you couldn't decide what exact shape this was, so you just kind of did this thing. Which is okay. It's not good for learning, necessarily, but I can understand why you did it. I've done that plenty of times. Alright, so we're going to make our cited favored thing right here, just for learning purposes. Let's just try to figure it out. Oh, there it is. Look. You're getting closer. Alright, that's about it right there. Why is it ending here? Because that's the end of this shape. That's the start of a whole new shape, which is the hip area. And I know the stomach or the chest or whatever doesn't go down in this direction. It's just teaching us that there's a favored side. It's just teaching us that there's a favored side.
There is a favored side. Wow, that was so eye-opening. What in the actual Kentucky Fried Hell is that supposed to mean? Okay, let's see what happens next and if he has any success using the mysterious power of favorite side.
Okay, these things can be hard to break down sometimes too, because you're thinking, is it a jacket? Am I breaking down the jacket? Are you breaking down the arm inside? All right, sometimes you have to take clear reference. And I can tell that it's hard to study these things because, you know, where's the arm? I don't really know. So sometimes you need to take more clear reference. Or do figure drawing, you know, study naked people.
The reference is your problem, seriously?
Or do figure drawing, you know, study naked people. Sometimes you have to take clear reference. So sometimes you need to take more clear reference. Where's the arm? I don't really know.
Oh, come on, what a pathology. Give me that, I'll fix it. I will read the full 3D data and show it to you with vector meshes, just like I did on May. First legs go like this, I mark the knees here, then legs are coming from a torso, so the torso must be here. Then, judging by the head location and the form of the outfit, the torso must be twisted and this angle. So here we'll most probably find the arm, which is obviously smoothly connected to the torso. Oh, and by the way, in case you are now wondering, how did I find the whole torso and arm under the outfit? Do I spend a lot of time learning anatomy? No, I don't. At work I use engineering programs, PowerPoint, Excel, and then play video games a lot. Wow, 10 kills with one shot. Not to mention all the time spent on sending memes to my friends and family. This is just what natural human perception can do. You just have to know exactly how to actively use it, in reverse, project an image from your head. It is called reification and, in fact, it is, very simply speaking, an advanced version of guessing, and your brain uses it naturally in your everyday activities, even if you are not an artist yet, just in a passive way. An artist uses it actively, for supplying and stabilizing the images to draw. Art teachers ignore it, of course, and tell you to practice nonsense instead. I can tell you more about the mechanics of this, but maybe in another video, there is a lot to tell. Now, going back to Ethan, he could use the 3D reification with a great result as well, I believe, if he hadn't chosen a nonsense method in the first place. You cannot just slap a triangle on top of everything and expect enlightenment. It has no real context with what really is in the picture. I can obviously prove that, no problem. I will locate the corners of this triangle on this character seen from the front. I made a simplified version of the character, and by the way, this is what you can do with the character after you get the vector mesh and fully understand the 3D relations among the elements. You can turn her around and express her in a different style, for example a cartoonish one like this. And this is already art. It is not just some pointless practice to distract you, like this guy does, together with many other art teachers. So look, one corner is somewhere inside the thigh, another one is above the hip, could be even outside of the body, and the last one is in the shoulder. Just what the hell? What do we even get from this? This is just pure chaos, so it cannot be decisive in any sensible way. Okay, the end sequence of the video.
But you can kind of see I'm using some of the same stuff here. It's just a lot of triangles, a lot of the same stuff. Alright, so that's pretty much it.
Yes, that's it. Now we can draw some conclusions. Another conclusion: ovals are not by definition indecisive, just as the triangles are not magically decisive, and no triangle will tell you exactly where does the body turn, which way does the hip turn, just because it has a taper or whatever. And unfortunately I have to say this, there is no favorite side. Now you guys may ask, but where do these forms come from? Where does an artist take them from so quickly? How exactly did you remodel the girl in a simpler style and turn her around at the same time? Well, I do know the answers to these questions, and I can assure you they are not mindless tips like practice more anatomy or do figure drawings. I will answer some of them in the next episode.
Or do figure drawing, you know, study naked people.
If you agree that the forms generated by a natural RTX graphic card in the back of our head are a better way to analyze reference pictures than slapping random shapes on top of them, if you'd like to create art with total 3D understanding instead of struggling with boxes or some random shapes, if you want to get some real art tips that actually help, you can use the links in the description to go to my Instagram or Facebook page. There is also a Facebook art group where I am one of the 2 admins. It has a Polish name, Artystawka, but we welcome all nationalities and we will be happy to see your art and give you help and some really useful feedback. Of course, only if you ask for it. Feel free to just post art for fun. I don't shoot at other artists with a Canon for making art mistakes. I only do this to the ones that try to teach you ineffective bullshit. You can also support me with coffee so I can spend more time making the next episodes and get some special art tips if you ask for them through a message. As I said, I'm an engineer, so before I give you something to use, I tested myself to make sure that it actually solves the problems better than the other available options, and try to actually explain how it works in a way that in the end you will be aware of the process. If you want to see more messy art mambo jumbo massacred with anti-bullshit silver bullets and other armaments, please subscribe not to miss the next episodes because I'm hunting for the big fish only. There will be as much rhetorical value and as many memes as in this one. And there will be explosions as well. By the way, on the 25th of September, there is this international festival of comic and games in Łódź City in Poland, where Kim Jong-ji himself is coming, and I want to listen to him. So I will be there too, in my special uniform that I made. So you can identify me if you are there, and ask me anything you like, and I can serve you some of the best art tips I have in my arsenal. Oh, and about the next episode, Sam does arts. I'm coming for you.